there's a price to hate. There's also a value in having a good enemy.
Man, I saw that. I actually got the screeners have the beat. This is one of my favorite shows. I told him that when he came up, Aldis Hodge. In the past, I told Kevin Bacon that when he came up, and I will tell Lauren E. Banks when we speak with her. She's here with us, too. City on the Hill returns Sunday, March 28, 10 p.m. on Showtime. DB, let them know who we got with us.
Well, one of the guests is a returning citizen of the show. He's been on several times before. He came up once and told us about learning how to rap for his role as MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton. He came by with Alfred Woodard when he was talking about the film Clemency. And, I actually got to see One Night in Miami where he plays Jim Brown. And I got, the studios like to send out gifts to a lot of the critics because I'm a part of the Critics' Choice Association. And I got this painting that he did that it's amazing. I might post it on my Instagram, but I'm really just like so excited to put this on my wall and hang it up with the rest of my collection. So Aldis Hodge is joining us, and with him is an actress who is actually it follows in line with other actors who have gone from being athletes like Dwayne Johnson and John David Washington to now finding a love for acting. She graduated from Howard and from Yale, and now she's joining Aldis Hodge on the show City on the Hill Season 2, which is returning this Sunday, March 28th at 10/9 Central on Showtime. Please welcome Aldis Hodge and Lauren E. Banks.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
What up? What's good?
What's popping?
Happy Friday.
Hey.
What's up? Happy Friday.
Same to you,
Friday.
Lauren.
Hey, Lauren, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. What's up, Aldis? How are you? How you doing, Sway?
I'm
good.
good, Lauren. Thank you for having
Y'all
me.
so nice.
I appreciate you. Hey, Aldis.
Brothers.
My man, how you doing, man? Heather B and Tracy are here too, guys. So,
What up, y'all?
Oh,
What's
what's
good?
Hey, Heather. Hey, Tracy.
Hey. What's good? Hey, Sway, if you don't mind, because I just got to jump right in. Because
You know where I'm going with it,
Lauren
though,
and Aldis, you know where I'm going with this. Lauren and Aldis, me and Sway got something going right now. We got it going on the college side, and we got it going on the pro side. Both of y'all being from North Carolina, I don't want to hurt y'all feelings about North Carolina basketball on the college side. But who you taking in this Final Four for that? And then on the pro side of NBA, who y'all got for the finals? Let's just get this out the way early because people been hurting my feelings at the end of these conversations. Starting with you, Lauren, since you play ball and all that. Who you taking for the NCAA champs?
Listen, I when Carolina isn't playing, it's really hard to say.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I go to Durham frequently. Like, I go back home, and I'm not trying to get jumped on Fayetteville Street because I picked somebody that wasn't a home team.
Right.
So
she
I'm
ain't
a
gonna
really safe choice of saying, I'm rooting for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Lauren's worse than me.
She's worse than you. Now, Lauren, do you got a pro team that you're rooting for the NBA to take the championship?
No, not honestly. I live in LA. I'm a big LeBron fan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm always rooting for LeBron, honestly.
That's dope. Now, we ain't mad at that one. Now, all this don't let me down. What you got, family? Who you taking? College? You going you out of it too, and the NC's out? Okay.
Oh, so with college, I haven't been able to catch any of the games because my work schedule has been nuts. I'm actually at work right now in the middle of training, so
wow.
I ain't been able to catch up. But as far as professional, I don't know. It's a tough deal. I mean, I know LeBron is injured. I think Anthony Davis is injured.
Yep,
a lot of cats getting injured right now. I think maybe for the West right now, it might be looking good for the Clips, but.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know as far as who's taking the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
I ain't mad.
They didn't say nothing, Heather. They wasn't ready for that question. Neither one of them.
I kept it safe.
They so focused, right? What are you training for, Black Adam? What are you training for right now?
Yeah, man. Right now, training for Black Adam. We start our days early. We end late. We in prep right now. So I ain't seen TV ain't even seen me. We usually start our days around 5 o'clock in the morning, and weightlifting and all that, fight training, stunt training. We end around like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, yeah, we getting at it.
Black Adam is a DC property that Aldis is in. The cast is like Dwayne The Rock Johnson is in there. Quintessa Swindle's in there. Pierce Bronson is in there. This is a big deal, man. You just been hitting them out the park ever since you started taking Ren lyrics, bro.
You know what?
Ren should be getting something out of this, man. Shout out to MC Ren. but
Absolutely, shout out to MC Ren. Nah, man, it's just been a steady growth, steady crawl. You know, always trying to attach myself to projects of merit and you know, with real substance. So I'm really, really grateful to be a part of this project. And you know, I mean, the same deal goes with, you know, City on the Hill. I feel like that was something I stepped into just because I saw the potential for what it could represent, you know, and what my character and you know, my relationship with Siobhan, what Siobhan's character could represent. So you know, just trying to stay attached to something of substance, brother. It's a hard deal in this industry, and when you can get it, when you can actually, you know, pay some bills and still sleep at night with your moral compass intact, it's quite a blessing.
I admire that about the both of you too. And this series takes place in the early '90s, and it's talking about a time in Boston's history where it was a lot of violent criminals. It was a lot of corruption, what they call tribalism. It was just a whole lot of just nastiness and dirt, you know. And in this series, like when I watched the first two episodes, I have received some screeners, and man, it's as much as we've been numb to in the past few years, especially since social media has become so prominent in our lives, I still find a way to cringe. You know what I mean? Because this show is straight up in your face. There's a lot of racial and homophobic slurs. The dialogue can be really offensive, you know. And I'm curious to you, Lauren, as an actress, does that ever get in the way of your acting?
Oh, no, it doesn't get in the way of my acting. Honestly, I definitely understand how, you know, an audience can be just a little disturbed by really the conversations of people that we are not always privy to, right? Like you hear other people talking like, dang, do they really talk like that when we're not around? You know what I mean? But I think as an actor, I'm always looking for myself and the characters I go after, I'm always looking for an authenticity. And certainly nothing to be overdone. I can't stand watching things where it just feels like the N word is being dropped way too much, you know, out of proportion. That's unrealistic, or anything else, you know, any kind of other racial slurs or words that are just, you know, for lack of better words, inappropriate. But yeah, it doesn't take me out. If anything, it fuels my character specifically in our show to feel like I'm bumping up against some of the social barriers and hurdles that one would in the 90s who's trying to litigate in Boston as a black woman.
As a black woman, and both you guys play these prominent figures. But I'm going to just follow up to that question because I'm sitting there thinking, even though it's acting, you know, these words are still being said and people are really engaged and committed to their character. How tense does it get on set? Like, does it get tense? Does it get intense?
Nah, we have a really good, respectful set of cast members and crew, and especially when it comes to saying certain things. When we rehearse, those words aren't said, and that's something I do appreciate. The liberties taken by the actors themselves, typically, where they just will put some other word in place, or they just won't say it at all until it is needed and necessary. We've even talked about bringing on, you know, emotional consultants if needed for anybody around, you know, any background actors in the scene who may want to, who may feel the need to you know, discuss maybe some dis-ease or whatever when it comes to these environments. But we all know we're there, we're doing a job. And when it comes to the narrative, or rather the intent of the narrative, because we do have these conversations often. I've been having these conversations about, you know, the usage of these words, honestly, brother, since before I even had the job. Like before the first meeting, I was like, so before we get to let's talk about this and that, you know, because we are representing something that actually still does afflict us today. Will afflict us primarily when I'm speaking from the, you know, perspective of the black community and how these words are still used against us today. There's nothing different from the atrocities of the time frame. The only difference is how they are being committed and the technology that goes along with how we get to experience it, you know? So we have to be sensitive and aware of the fact that we're speaking the truth from then that is still now. And if something is used, it can't just be salacious. It can't be wasted air, wasted energy. There has to be a point to it. But along with that point, there has to be the truth in the repercussions, the truth in showing the people who are intended to be victimized fighting back for themselves, gaining their ground, and substantiating their value in a space, and not just being somebody's punching bag, right? There's a back and forth. But we are talking the 90s. We are talking Boston. I grew up in the East Coast. You know, I was in New York and Jersey mostly as a kid. I traveled to Boston, often had family up there. I know about the overt racism. Even in New Jersey, I grew up in a town where there was KKK, and we dealt with them on a regular basis. It was in your face. So playing the truth and the honesty of the time frame and the era goes hand in hand with how we execute that truth verbally. So, you know, we just try to find the right balance with giving people the honesty, but also giving them the nature of good entertainment where they can digest and see that we're trying to speak to an issue that needs to be addressed, as opposed to using commercial fodder just to, you know, just for dramatic purpose.
Aldis, I'm going to talk to your agent to talk to Showtime. They should be paying you more for the way you just ambassador at this whole show right there. That was
Word up.
Yes.
with that, man. Get
Yes.
Lauren some more money, too, while you at it,
Excellent.
too. Okay. Wow, man. Okay, so that makes sense to me. We actually got somebody who grew up in Boston during that time on the line who just called in. Vernon, Grand Risings. How you doing, Vernon?
What up,
Hey,
V?
Vernon.
Yo, I'm good. I'm here. Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Of
course.
Yep.
Okay.
Say hello. Say hi to Lauren E. Banks and Aldis Hodge.
Yo, Grand Rising. Grand Rising to everyone in the room.
Grand Rising, Brandon.
Sway, first of all, shout you out on the Hall of Fame win. It's belated, but long
Thank you, kid. Thank you, man. Hey, Aldis, since we talked last, I've been inducted to the Hall of Fame, brother.
Always see you shining.
Okay, I just have to say that. I don't know if Lauren knew that.
Had to be continuing to do and reminding people to keep their Glocks down.
Hey, boom, 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 boom.
So basically, my calling is because I'm 51 years old. I done seen it all, and I wanna address how I'm glad the black cop in Boston is finally represented on the screen. You know, granted it's the small screen right now, but you know, I don't think the black cop back in the 90s when all this gang stuff was going on is represented enough until now.
Yeah.
So you find
I
City on the
appreciate you.
Hill.
I appreciate you saying that.
You find it to be true to form from what you remember back in the 90s when you watched this show is extremely accurate.
Yeah, they definitely did their research, you know, and me being from that era is like, you know, it rehashes a lot of stuff, and I have a critical eye because I want to see how accurate they're portraying the stuff as.
Oh man, thank you.
I'm older and I've kind of been in the streets a little bit, so I know a little bit more than they put on the screen, like how the young girl Tiffany Moore was killed, and I know after that, the aftermath of that was they got a scapegoat. I know the guy who was a scapegoat, and he did a lot of time for that. It was wrongly accused and then appealed it and won. You know, a lot of the BS that happened kind of was detrimental to the black community because they came through the bus heads every time something like that happened. They came through the bus heads and they just arrested a lot of innocent guys back then, and there's probably still some dudes in jail now over something they didn't do, over when the police came through the bus heads when some BS jumped off, like the Stewart incident, for example, what they did in Mission Hill. There was a lot of innocent guys in jail behind that when they went in there to bus heads.
Shit,
Yeah, to find out he was lying and all that. So, you know,
Okay,
like I said, I've seen it all.
He's seen it all. He might need to be on y'all research team. We might have to
Wow.
talk to Showtime.
Down there. Hey, brother, come on the squad.
Anybody need a Boston Street team rep? I'm here, bro. I'm here.
Okay, man. You're a citizen, Vernon. My man, Vernon.
A sway in the morning.
You know,
So,
Damn, it's not enough time in a day. You know, Lauren E. Banks, you and I, maybe you read about it, but you and I got a lot in common being athletes, the two of us.
how so?
Yeah. I ran track too. You know.
Oh gosh, Lauren. Gosh, Sway. Really?
What? I did run track. Lauren should know this. She's an Olympic track athlete. Come on.
No, I was aspiring. I didn't participate in the Olympics.
Well,
It was
okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. You didn't make it to the Olympics, but you, in your mind, you could have made it, right?
It was a childhood dream of mine, actually, and I was running, and and that was just something I was aspiring to. Even on career day when I was in 5th grade, I reached out to Marion Jones to interview people, because we had to interview people who were doing what we wanted to do. I sent my interview. I had to write it all out because we couldn't type it, to her in Sydney. So yeah, it was big on the radar. But when I found acting, everything changed. So yeah.
You graduated magna cum laude with a BFA in theater arts at Howard, and a master's in acting from the Yale School of Drama in 2017. I know you're heavy into your activism. I remember reading an article on People magazine when you were speaking about Breonna Taylor, and it's important that we bring these issues to light. And so with that said, I want to ask you, being that you were an athlete, we've been talking about this on your on this show. What are your thoughts on the debate about trans athletes? What do you think about trans athletes?
I'm not really privy to what the hinge of the conversation is in terms of, I assume they're saying what side of the binary should a trans athlete be allowed to participate on, right? That's all I know about.
Yes.
Yeah. And, I think it's a very complicated conversation, but I think it's a necessary conversation, because I think for so long we've just only acknowledged the binary of gender, and we know now, we can appreciate more today that gender exists on a larger spectrum than that. And I think, therefore, it challenges all institutions, not just sports, to look at themselves and figure out how they can be more inclusive. And so I think that there's a real reckoning that's necessary to be had. And, and it's obviously not, I think if we're still trying to figure out how to get more than 10 dumbbells in a weight room for women athletes, then obviously we got a long way to go as it relates to acknowledging the transgender community and how they can participate in sports. But I think they have every right to. Obviously, I think that we have to figure out, how sports exist and how we can compete in that regard. But I think it's a necessary conversation to be had.
Lauren E. Banks, this is your breakout role. If I'm not mistaken, this role is like a breakout role for you. What does that do for your confidence as an actor?
A great deal. I was learning. I was learning how to act on TV in our first season, and because I'd done a guest star and maybe like a co-star just a couple months before booking this gig, and I'm learning opposite Aldis Hodge, who's had a whole life of a career, and the same for Kevin Bacon and Jill Hennessy. So it does a great deal for my confidence just to know that I can get in the ring with them, and that they don't see me as a kid, just a new kid on the block, but rather a worthy collaborator. I feel the same from Showtime and from our showrunner with the responsibility they've given me in the second season. So I'm ready,
You got
I'm
it.
Excited, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Us track athletes.
Beautiful.
We walk with confidence, us track athletes. Come on, man.
It's all in the preparation.
It's
I had
all in the prep.
lot of preparation.
A lot of working out. All right, you mentioned
You
Kevin.
don't run.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you don't win. Speaking of track, you don't win a race on race day. You win it in practice, because it always comes down to that millisecond or the lean or whatever. So if you're not putting in the work in advance, you're not going to be ready.
Ooh, I say
Period.
that all the time. I say that
Nah,
all the
Sway,
time.
I
don't say
never
that?
heard you say that. No.
Well, I'll be thinking it, Heather. I'll be thinking it, okay? All right.
Yo.
But you mentioned Kevin Bacon, and we had Kevin Bacon back when the first season premiered. He came on the show, and he spoke about the way of playing his character, Jackie. And I want to play back what he said.
I want to play him with as much honesty as I possibly can, and also make him a human being. Because what's frightening about people like Jackie Rohr is that they do get into power, and that they are real human beings who think that the things that they're doing are okay. You know, the ends are justifying the means in some sort of a way.
I know it's amazing for you two to be working with Kevin Bacon as much as it is amazing for him to be working with you all. And I love the way you play your role, Aldis. Is very, very convincing, man. So for some reason, I feel like you represent me. You know what I mean? So when you get in these back and forths, I'll be like, yo, get him. And you play the District Attorney Ward. How did you prep?
Yeah.
How did you prep to play District Attorney Ward? What did you want to accomplish?
I mean, outside of the technical research into what the job environment is like, speaking to an actual consultant in Boston who was a DA and told me about his experience being a black DA, dealing with the overt racism, having to, pitch cases against young black kids that didn't deserve the time that they were getting. But, he was put in situations where it was like, look, you got to sometimes win the war by giving up a couple battles. And at the end of the day, you go home trying to figure out how to deal with yourself, how to look in the mirror. It's not always it's not an emotionally or spiritually safe environment on the side of justice when you're dealing with crooked people in positions of sort of manicuring what that justice actually looks like. Mm-hmm. So there's a technical side of it, but on the personal side, I just wanted to dig into a man who is trying to always stay rooted and anchored in who he is. There has to be an obvious nature and sort of an awareness about him, understanding what he's doing. He's in a situation where his community may not trust him just because he wears a badge. He's also in a situation where his coworkers don't give him the proper respect because he's black. So he's, between a rock and a hard place. And how does he maintain his own moral conduct and his value of, or rather evaluation of what justice is, his version of justice that he's trying to push. And it's playing sort of the duality of making sure you learn the language of the monsters that you're dealing with so you can speak with them and you can understand and you can interpret what they're saying but not become a monster yourself. I feel like I've done that dance quite a bit in my personal life, in my professional life, in entertainment. And I still even do it today in terms of understanding, what's right in front of me, but not allowing it to shape me and make me something worse or something other than, Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to play, to a degree, a bit of his hope for what justice actually is as he's fighting through the muck and the dirt and the grime of the judicial and political system of Boston.
Yeah. Okay, City on the Hill, man. We love it. It's great. I mean, I'm a fan already, and I definitely, I sit and watch it, man. I hate when it ends, like it's hour-long episodes, but I be wanting to
fiending.
Yeah, I be fiending.
Reruns, brother, reruns. Okay. No, we got good 8, a strong 8 for you this season.
Okay, good. I'm looking forward to it. City on the Hill, Sunday, March 28th on Showtime. And beginning April 18th, the series will move to 9 p.m. Eastern. Tracy, you want to jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still stuck on, Aldis, when you were speaking about choosing all of your projects based on the merit that they bring to the table. And a lot of creatives, and I think humans in general, it can be challenging learning how to say no to something. Especially if you're a minority and the conditioning is you should be grateful to have anything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So was that something for the both of you that came easily, or do you remember having to train yourself to be comfortable with passing down opportunities?
I don't believe in training through experience, through lived experience, because, I mean, I've been in the game since I was like 2, 3 years old. So I've been in very different positions. I even have done background work where people look through you, don't even see a human being. I've been on auditions. I remember 12 years old because I walked into the room and I was articulate and educated. The, 40-year-old white casting director looked at me and said, "You're not black enough for the role," because his understanding what black was meant something less than what black actually is. Mm-hmm. He was culturally inept and didn't understand how to appreciate or approach the idea of my culture. So I had to realize I cannot succumb or submit to his opinion or view of me. I have to change my environment that I'm in because I deserve to be here, but I'm not going to be here working under the guise of somebody else's ego. I'm not doing that. So, there's a sort of a mentality of doing what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. But you got to realize in order to do what you want to do, you have to live in that energy, in that space of making sure that every decision speaks towards your future. Amen. Positioning yourself doesn't mean selling out on yourself. And you have to figure out that and understand that no is oftentimes the most powerful word that you can use, because at the end of the day, when you're good and it's meant for you, believe in that, but they need you as much as they want to make you believe that you need them. Mm-hmm. So you got to understand where your value is and your potential. When you walk into a room or when you walk away with the faith that you know that you're walking down your right path, and don't fear the hardship or the hard time. And you know what? At the end of the day, when you walk in your truth, it all works out.
Amen.
Man, I say that too.
I'm not even gonna. Y'all know I'm not gonna say nothing.
You got that tattooed on your arm, don't you, Sway?
I got that.
Right,
yeah, man. Lauren, what about you?
Yeah.
It's early in your career, Lauren. So are you in that same mind frame?
Oh, absolutely. I think Aldis articulated that perfectly, and I think I aspire to have a career that is a lot like people like our late Cicely Tyson, who's had a lifetime in a career. So I'm always looking at the bigger picture, and I'm not necessarily looking at getting, jobs are important, but I'm looking to build a career. So I'm looking to pick projects or even audition for projects that I believe in. And I won't audition for it if I read it and I don't enjoy it. I'll tell my team, no, I'm okay, I'll pass. Like Aldis said, I'll say no. And that's a very powerful thing to say, because it frames and it shapes also how people see you and understand what you're interested in. But I think, overall, my litmus test or my guide is definitely a spiritual one. And it's also one that I say all the time, I'm interested. What success looks like for me is to do work that I believe in with people that I believe in. And that's when I'm the happiest. And I could be doing a reading in a small room in New York of a play, but it's a play that I really believe in, and it's with a really great playwright and actors that I admire. I'm very happy. I can be on a big major project and be getting paid, but be miserable because we're doing feminist, quote unquote, feminist work, and half the people working on it don't even know who Shirley Chisholm is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I'm frustrated. So for me, it's definitely, that is my guide, a spiritual one, a spiritual connection to the work itself. And then is this a project that I believe in, and are the people that are producing it, working on it, folks that I believe in.
I love it. Lauren E. Banks, great to have you on the show this morning. Welcome
absolutely.
to the citizenship. You are officially now a citizen.
Hey.
A Sway in the morning.
Okay.
Hey.
Aldis Hodge, already a citizen, man. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Love the conversation.
Hey.
Yes.
When I come back, can I freestyle?
Oh.
Oh, snap, Lauren. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Hey,
she volunteered.
Yo.
But I'm trying to spit as well. You know what I mean?
Yo,
We got a spit queen. We got a spit queen with us. Yes.
LB.
Spit something right now, Lauren. I mean, if you with it, you with it.
Right. That's what I'm saying, Aldis.
Acapella.
No, I'm just
Really,
playing. Nah. You know what I'm saying? She got to get in her mode. You know what I'm saying? Like
All
you know,
right.
like she a real
Do
artist.
that.
You know what I mean?
I stay ready. You don't got to get ready if you stay
Hold up.
ready.
Right.
You know.
Don't be her publicist. What's up, Lauren?
Don't do me.
Wait, hold up. You want to spit something real quick? Hold on. Yeah, hold on. We got
I
Cynthia. You can't hold on. Put Cynthia up. We got Cynthia Erivo on the line with us too. She's playing Aretha in the Genius series. Let's put Cynthia.
Wait, you got Cynthia?
I got Cynthia here too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Pull Cynthia in. The last time I saw Cynthia, we were in Santa Barbara doing karaoke on stage. Pull Cynthia. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Cynthia, Grand Risings. How you doing?
Cynthia! Everyone.
Hey.
Hi.
What up, Cynthia?
Cynthia. This is a lovely conversation. I've just been listening in the background with my smile on. It's wonderful. You guys have done an amazing job. This is gorgeous.
Thank you. Aldis Hodge is here. Lauren E. Banks is here. You know, City on the Hill.
Aldis. Hey, Lauren.
You know, and
What up?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Yo, you know, Cynthia, well, you know Anthony Hemingway. He's fan, but first of all, congratulations on the work. And second, you know, my brother Edwin Hodge actually did some work with y'all down there too. Plays your pops, so that was actually really awesome to see. You guys handle business. Yeah, y'all handle business.
Thank you.
So you doing your thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Thank you.
And Susan Lori Parks too. We got to shout her out for the work she did on Genius Aretha. Hey, so because you know what I wanted to do, Cynthia's here, Cynthia, and because you are a singer, songwriter, Tony, Emmy, and Grammy Award winner, and 2-time Golden Globe and 2-time Academy Award nominee, I thought when Lauren busts this a cappella, she could do it in front of you, and then you could give some feedback.
Wow.
No pressure.
You cool with
pressure.
that, Cynthia?
Cool with that. Sure.
Okay. Lauren E. Banks, we got a hyena up in here. We got a hyena.
We gotta see though. We gotta see.
Now, Lauren, this is what he does all the time. Now, this is what he do all the time. He set people up like this.
You wanted to come in.
This is a real, I'm crossing the burning sands for real. Okay.
Okay. Let's go.
Let's do it. They be like, Rumble Queen, but I'm a humble queen because everything is everything. After winter comes the spring, thanking God for the blessings that they bring. Gratitude is my attitude, never cocky, never rude, but me will bust gum when I hate to say that they talking ish or they wish me dead. Open your heart, let me in. I'll be your best lover, but first a friend, feel freedom with you, kiss you till your face is blue as the Carolina sky, the San Fran Basin, help quick, mayday, my insides on hip-hop parade, but being naughty is in my nature, so now I'm falling. Done with all that stalling. I can hear God calling with the window of opportunity to make manifest this unity in life and liberty while living naturally because happiness will come naturally for us. I'm a warrior for this love-ish. Don't place much above it. It's just who I am, and I get it from my family, Usher, Roddy, Elizabeth, Renee, Alex, and Lou. From Olivia to Paxton to my Carolwood Glen crew, we filled it up more than I knew, and it gave me this light of shine. This world is mine, whole team with me. Moving, focused fearlessly over unforgiven season. Then I part that ish. Call him Moses. Yeah, since I talk that ish because I'm chosen. Catch me on your TV, the movies, making plays ish, DeRozan.
Wow. We got a hyena up in here.
Wow. What just happened? Hey, Sway, she threw in the Caroline Blue. She threw in the Naughty by Nature reference. I heard bars, son.
I heard bars. Heard a little Lauren in the front part. Yes. Well, let's get the feedback from Cynthia. Cynthia, what do you think on a scale of 1 to 10?
Beautiful. A scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give you a 10 for that today because it's early in the morning. You were giving me visuals. I could see pictures. I could see the world you were painting around you. I could see how close it was to you. And the fact that you were telling a story that is part of your life felt really like you pulled me into something personal, which is I think is really special.
Wow. That's so beautiful.
Very nice to be.
You got a 10 from Miss Ariba.
There you go, man.
That's big.
Lauren,
that's big time.
Lauren
Moses
E.
herself.
Bars. That's your new name. Lauren E. Bars.
Yeah.
All right?
Man.
Yo, wow. That was nice. When you got to come in the studio, we're going to put you to the test over some beats, but that was great, Lauren. And congratulations on all your success. Absolutely. Aldis Hodge, you already know what it is. City on the Hill, Sunday, March 28th, 10 p.m. on Showtime. We got a hyena up in here.
Hyena!
Okay.